Hello, this is Kevin with The Healthy Omnivore, and today we're at day 5 of the 7-day healthcare e-course. And what I'd like to do today is we're going to actually discuss a lot of things, but this specific video is going to go back to real food, and I want to talk to you about something I think is really important, and that's traditional foods. I really like the study of anthropology. I like learning from other cultures. I like to see what they did right, what they did wrong, and I think it's been just a huge injustice that we've decided in the United States to focus everything on a type of science that actually just breaks stuff down so much that it ends up not really being that beneficial anymore. And if we had just actually spent that type of time and energy in studying other cultures and what they were doing, we'd be in a lot better position today. If we could actually go around before these cultures were actually given refined and processed foods, you would find numerous cultures that were super healthy. Now, of course, they had issues with infections and things like that. But they would live very, very well, and they'd live very, very well for a long time. Now, what they would do is they would focus on the foods that they'd been eating for a long time in that specific area that they'd adapted to, and that they had realized that it made them healthy. And they got rid of everything else. People probably just died. Gone. Oh, I guess that's not working. Next. Well, we don't do that anymore. We start feeling bad, we start getting, our aging starts accelerating, we actually create degenerative disease, we just pop another pill. Back in the day, when it was survival of the fittest, you just died. And so the people who were strong, they were doing all the right things, they would move on. Not now. Now you can do whatever you want, pretty much, and you're just going to be told it's genetic, and it has nothing to do with lifestyle. But it does have to do with lifestyle. And within that lifestyle is, what are you eating? How are you moving? So, these traditional groups all over the world, there were specific things that they were doing right that I think we should learn from. One is, they found the foods that were best for them, and that's what they consumed. The foods were always of high quality. They didn't overeat them, but they were always of high quality. So that's a key, and we've already talked about that, and that's what you need to know, high quality. But two is the way they actually consume the foods. They were actually consuming them in a way practically all the time. That's just what they did. They didn't have a zillion different choices. Now they had maybe different varieties of specific foods they were consuming, but they pretty much, the meals kind of looked the same all the time. They didn't like branch out. They knew it worked, and they stuck with it. So high quality foods, and then they got involved in a way of eating that was actually super beneficial because they knew how to combine their foods. Now, also another thing that they would do is they would end up fasting every now and again. And I'm not telling you to go out and fast, but it is interesting that they didn't necessarily know where their food was coming from next. They didn't know that it wasn't like breakfast, lunch, dinner, ooh, I get 2 snacks. I mean, they didn't know when they were going to eat again. I mean, they might eat once a day, twice a day. Every now and then, they might have to go 24 hours or more. So what I'd recommend to you is after you get this 12, or actually 14 days done of your real food program, is start factoring in intermittent fasting. I think that could be really beneficial for you, because what it does, it actually helps create discipline into your day. But then also, I think it's really good because if you do get to the point where you're interested in weight loss, cutting back on calories every single meal is not the way to do it. Your hormones will not let you lose body fat that way, but you can every now and then reduce the meals a little bit, and then every now and then actually pass on a meal or 2, if not 3 meals. Personally, I'm somebody who does well with heavier proteins, more fat. Passing on 2 meals is about as good as it's going to get. So I would be okay going from maybe, say, dinner to dinner, And I wouldn't recommend, if you're going to do that, that you actually do it when your mental acuity has to be real high. So you just kind of figure it in once a week, once every 2 weeks, twice a week, something like that. Another thing is, before technology has changed these cultures and they were introduced to refined foods and just totally destroyed their health, is that they moved. I mean, we think about how, oh, we've got the chairs and we've got televisions and we watch the television and we push the button. Well, think about it the way it would have been back then. When you sat down, you did a full squat and you just squatted down. And that's beneficial for your spine, it's beneficial for your digestive system. Now it's like people just keep getting chairs that are higher and higher. And if they have to go to the bathroom, I mean, that's like the most exercise they do all day. But we need to be able to get that range of motion back. When they actually walked, I mean, they would be walking up hills and sideways, and they might have to crawl a little bit to get up things, and they'd climb a little bit down things, and they'd be pushing and pulling and pressing, squatting, lunging, every single day. Now, because of the technology era, we no longer do that. So we've added exercise programs, but unfortunately now we follow bodybuilders predominantly, and they don't really move like that, so it's not that functional. So that's one reason I've added within the healthy omnivore routine, within proper movement, those type of movements, because I think that our body wants to adapt to those types of things, and that's what's going to actually help us be super healthy. And then just the last thing, because we were talking about real food, and then we were talking about proper movement, but then the last thing is our lifestyle. See, one challenge that we have that they did not have was that sun would go down and it'd come back up, and it was real easy to just kind of get into that rhythm of being rejuvenated, getting the proper sleep. You don't have all sorts of synthetic light. So you kind of have to get that mindset of, we haven't adapted to that. I've said before, and you've probably read this, within the healthy omnivore, we're the hunter-gatherer, then we created that industrial era, and then we have the towns, the cities, we created that, and then we created all sorts of agriculture around that, so we quit moving as much, we started consuming only specific types of foods, and then all of a sudden, here we are, we're in the industrial era, we're even moving less, but now we're refining the stuff that we were getting from the agrarian era. And then we moved to the technology era, and most of the stuff that we're creating that are caloric isn't really food. So we've created a lot of challenges to actually attain optimal health. It can be done, but if you think of it the way I just laid it out, we're hunter-gatherers, should be working like in the agrarian era. This whole thing of what we actually received from the industrial era of refining the foods, processing the foods, and then what we've done in the technology era to our foods is a joke. So we haven't adapted to those things. We haven't adapted to them as far as food, we haven't adapted to them as far as movement, and we haven't adapted to them as far as lifestyle. It's destroying our health, and it's destroying our hormonal systems, it's creating accelerated aging, degenerative disease. But hey, just think about it. Every now and then, how much stuff am I doing that my body hasn't really adapted to? I mean, they're coming out with studies all the time now. They just recently came out with a study where you put the cell phone up to your ear. People were joking that that was going to cause cancer 10 years ago. A lot of people were saying that was the new tobacco. Oh, no, there's no way. Well, yeah, wait. So, but it shouldn't be like a big surprise. Think about it. Technology era, we haven't adapted to that. Now, hey, we might just keep pushing it and then people just die off, and the only people that actually live are the ones that can handle this technology and can handle junk food. I don't know. But for now, I can tell you for sure, you haven't adapted to any of those things. So you want to get it straight, think about real food, think about proper movement, think about improving your lifestyle, and then you're developing that real healthcare program. You'll look better, feel better, and you're going to do it for a lot longer. All right? And this is Kevin with the Healthy Omnivore. Talk to you later.